my peeps. Welcome to On the Mic with the M.
And T.
And today's discussion is going to be what?
Let's talk about second chances.
Oh, okay.
And more than second chances, how many chances?
Okay.
So you know what I do for a living, naturally, right? I do hair.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just that great friend who people call. So I always hear the conversation pieces as far as the back and forth with the male and female. And I'm just curious, like, when is enough enough? And I'm not specific to dating or marriage, because to me, they kind of end up being almost like the same, right? You've been dating someone for 20 years or you've been married to him for 20 years. Either way, there's a lot of stuff going on in the relationship where it's like, at what point is enough enough?
Well, for me, I think personally, when it starts to affect you personally, I mean, you're not just a little emotionally, we could talk about, he hurt my feelings, or we don't get along. That happens. That's relationships. You're always gonna have good times, bad times. But what you need to do is think about, if this person is causing you so much angst that when you get up in the morning, you're like, what's my purpose? Why am I here?
Right.
And why do I take this? That's when you need to walk away, because now that person's starting to mess with the essence of who you are.
Okay, so what generally happens is we're going to walk away, right? And then we get the whole, like, baby, please, baby, please, baby, please, please, please. I'm going to do everything better.
Lord.
And I mean everything. Not just a little bit, everything. I swear I'll do it all right.
Yes.
Now, you ain't got it right for the last, I don't know how many years. Pick the person, and it'd be a different time stamp. But it always kind of seems to be the same consensus. As soon as it's time for you to go, then you tighten on up. Swear to the woman that you you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and that goes back to him, basically him looking at what he can get away with. As men, we kind of start off saying it's wide open. We don't really know you, so
no, you know these women. It's 5 years later, minimum.
Okay, now
minimum.
5 years into the relationship,
minimum.
You have already set boundaries, so I pretty much know what I can and what I can't get away with. So as long as I'm within the boundaries, I'm cool. Now, mind you, between day 1 and year 5, I have pushed those boundaries different ways.
Okay.
So along the way, there was a boundary that may have been, 200 feet. But now I've done certain things. You allow me to go 300 feet.
Right.
And in this particular area, you may let me go 75 feet in this particular area. Then I was like, I'm down to 50 feet on this side. So you start to kind of feel what you can and what you can't get away with.
And keep on doing it.
And you know what? Women allow that to happen.
Yes.
Because
I would agree.
Again, you control the relationship. And I said this to someone a while ago. I said, ultimately, women control the relationship.
How did they receive that? Because I don't know that women will receive that too well.
Well, because
like it's our job to put an end to the relationship and then still hold on to all these feelings and emotions that you have for this person, and then you call that control?
So let me just go ahead and say this. Women, you control the entire relationship. And I say this because a man could come after you. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how much money he got. I don't care about any of that. You had the final say if you accept that guy. So he could come to you and say, girl, I got money out the yin yang, I got this, that, and other thing. You could say no. But when you say, okay, I'll deal with you, you had the final say, not us. So when you say, okay, I accept you, then you pretty much say, I'm open myself up to anything that happens to me. So
False.
you have to control that.
Well, we didn't say open up to anything. we accepted you under these conditions in the beginning, yeah. And then you get into a situation, and then it's like, psych. Oh boy, yeah. Let me tell you what you said in the other was, take the mask off. No, y'all have so many masks. So many masks.
Yes, yes.
And it's like, most of the women that I know,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they're dating with this number of masks on. Like, it's just regular girls trying to find a regular relationship, trying to be respectful, not trying to take advantage of any guy. And it's always like, where to refund that, man? Bring that ass back. Come on. Nah.
But see,
He ain't it.
there's your $1 million mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Your $1 million mistake is to look at him and think that what he's saying to you is who he is. And for men, we're never going to take the mask off and say, here's how vulnerable I am. You know, I just need love. It's not a LL Cool J song, I need love. This is a dude that's saying, I have an agenda. And based on how you look and based on how you carry yourself, my agenda changes accordingly. So if you're fine,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, you're fine. So I'm going to do what I can do to get next to you.
So you've already summed me up in your intentions for me.
In the beginning, yes. Because I don't really know
Whereas
you.
me, I just was trying to see if you was going to get me on the path to marriage, because
Hell no.
generally that's what I'd be in the, like, that's
Men-
why else are the women dating?
Well,
They're trying to find the men getting them to the finish line.
see,
Yeah, we're looking for that forever guy.
that's what y'all looking for.
Yeah, that's
That's what y'all
and you
looking for.
know that's what we looking for.
But for us,
Uh,
we don't want. Let's be honest. I'm not speaking for all men. I'm speaking for quite a few men.
Mm-hmm.
They're not looking at the woman and say, you know what? Damn, that's something I want to get married to. Especially if you're young. You ain't trying to get tied down. No. You try and get it.
so you saying to me that when men scope us out, the first thing they not thinking about is marriage?
Hell no. Hell to the no. They ain't thinking about no goddamn marriage. Talking about, I'm gonna put a ring on your finger, put your nice little house with white picket fence, and we had 3.5 kids and a dog, and maybe have a RV to travel the
Yeah.
country. Hell no.
Yeah.
We're looking at you like, damn, she fine. And I wonder how good is she. I wonder how she could. I wonder what she can. What makes her special? I wonder if we're thinking tangibles. We're not thinking about, am I gonna walk down the aisle and what color scheme is going to be, what kind of ring you
And y'all
want,
trying
all
to
that
grow
stuff.
old together type of thing?
No.
You don't.
no.
Y'all not ready to grow
No,
old.
at 20-some years of age, we're not thinking about marriage. We are
At
not,
what age are we thinking about marriage in the dating realm?
to be honest, I'm gonna use this term, the level of manhood that the guy's in. Mm-hmm. If he's at, I'm gonna use level 1, he's probably looking at 30, because by 18 to 29, he's out there. I don't use the term sowing his wild oats, but he's out there searching and just trying to figure what he likes. Because
So you gotta taste all the flavors to see which ones
we're
you
gonna
like.
sample. We're gonna sample some pecan, butter pecan. We're gonna maybe some A samples. Vanilla, chocolate. Neapolitan. You may sample. You may like a little taste of this now and then. Sometimes you may like a little bit. Sometimes you may not like it. But you're not just gonna settle. So I'm just gonna grab this particular flavor and that's what I'm gonna flow with, because you're young.
Okay.
So. And that, again, dealing with a man and what level of manhood is he in. Because let me say this. A lot of men don't have a clue about levels of manhood. Don't have a clue. Mm-hmm. They think, I'm 18 years old, I'm a man, and I can do this. Nah, fool. You still a boy. You still got semen on your breath. You haven't.
Especially today's 18-year-olds.
Oh, they don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Don't have a damn clue. So they don't know. They can't say that I'm looking for this type of woman who's going to make me
Are they
happy.
looking for women at 18 nowadays?
No.
It's a little bit weird what's
no.
going on with the youth as far as them courting each other.
It's different. It's not like before. Before, you had to meet. The dating realm has changed drastically. I mean, before you had to meet someone, somebody may have set you up. You may have auntie that says, "Hey, I got a
You
niece."
mean young
Yeah,
before.
yeah. You
Oh
know, say,
yeah.
oh, he's a good guy. He's a good kid. You know, I have a niece over here that, and it connects you. And you may or may not like each other, but they connect you because you're nice kids.
Yes.
And it may be something, may not. Y'all may be friends. But nowadays, a swipe left, swipe right, and then
Oh.
you're looking at IG, you look at everybody shaking all
That's
the
real
goodies.
shallow.
Yeah, because again, I'm gonna say this. Everybody gets the same amount of asses and titties on IG that you would get anywhere else. And so now you're like, okay, they all got the same TNA. So what is more, what
You
differentiates?
like, in other words, every female has the same amount on Instagram. That's what you're
You
saying.
know, they try to enhance
Plus
what they
or
got.
minus a little bit, but
Yeah.
once it goes online, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do with it. Okay.
Exactly. So now
Okay.
you're like, okay, I see all this.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what makes them special? Because again, let's see if all of them are cute, all of them look good, all of them, you know, say the same thing. They like fun, they like music, like
Mm-hmm.
this, like okay, that's fine. So what really makes you different than the other 10 or the other 100 I'm looking at? So for the guy, he's gonna have to somehow just pick one because he can't say, well, yeah, her booty is
You used
big.
to go out with them and hang out with them
Oh, yeah.
and get to know them, and the chemistry would tell you which woman was. At least I thought used to
You
think it
used
was
to.
the chemistry. You know, you be out with the friends from school, and you know somebody you crushing on somebody, not because of how they look, just only because of how they look, but there's some chemistry between you two.
Yes, but then you
Because you had an interaction though, but there's no interaction online.
no, it's just
Yeah.
matter what you look, and everybody wants to. You got filters,
Uh-huh.
so everybody looks beautiful until the chick pulls up and she got acne all over her face, and she ain't looking at like, wait a minute, what happened? You done gained about 100 pounds. What the hell happened?
She didn't gain any weight. She just, knew her angles.
Oh, there was some damn good angles.
Yeah.
At that
yeah.
point, when you start looking at that, like you look at the you look at the phone and you
Yeah.
look at her like,
You said take a pic. That speaks to the fact that there's a lack of a social interaction and getting to know people, because then you have like this false idea. You see the one girl on Instagram and you don't get to know her. So she presents herself as being the best in whatever category and arena she's playing in. Whereas the girl next door, you kind of know her and all the stuff that her and her family kind of went through because she literally lives next door, but you have your eye on something that's quote unquote better than the girl next door, because you know that it's not perfect over here. And you keep seeing something that is perfection, I guess, what Instagram creates, because we only put our best foot forward
All the
on
time.
social media.
that's true. You never see a bad. Have you ever seen a bad IG photo?
I've seen bad posts and people cry, but I'm sad that they put it on there. I'm like, please stop.
Yeah.
Please
That's
stop.
not the place to put that.
Sulk and cry.
No.
Don't talk about your family on social media. Family
No.
pissed you off and you like, my family ain't shit. Huh? The whole family, because I haven't seen you in 17 years and now the whole family ain't worth nothing.
Yes.
Wow. I'm sorry, I have seen people get to their bad points, but you still don't want to really see it. You're hoping that they erase it at some point too.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
And I think as a society, we have gotten to this point. We've been pushing this perfectness that doesn't exist. And everybody wants to
Yeah.
feel like they're perfect. Everybody wants to feel like, if you see what you see on IG, that maybe they'll like me. But what they don't understand is that's just a front. That's a facade.
Well, it's not necessarily a front or a facade. It's an album of highlights, things that I chose to highlight. I wouldn't choose to highlight rough moments in my life. I overcame those,
True.
keeping it moving. I don't want to highlight those. So
Very true.
yeah, we had. Say it again.
We as a culture glorify the struggle.
We do.
So if you show your bad times, you show your struggle.
But I don't want to show. I don't want to be reminded of that all the time, because that's what social media does for you. It reminds you of past events. And so there's certain things that you make sure you putting on social media because you know what's going to pop up next year. Like, oh, no, I got to make sure I post this because it's going to pop up for me next year to keep me remembering stuff. Now, and if I toss on there a traumatic breakup or, a traumatic situation in the family, and then, I'm still trying to get through that or I'm healing from that, and a year later it pops back up, I'm like, here we go again. I was trying to get away from this.
Yes, because social media does not go away.
No, it doesn't.
It's there. Once you post it, it's there forever.
Yeah, and then somebody else might have shared it to somebody else, so now they have a copy of it, and then, they'll send it to you in a year, even though it's not, maybe on your page anymore.
Exactly.
It still kind of comes right on back to you, like, hey, remember this? Or if it doesn't pop back up, somebody will randomly be going through all of your pictures and they'll just start liking your stuff again, and it'll make you
Yep.
see it again, right? It
is
becomes
true.
relevant. So somebody start liking your old posts, and then somebody else saw that, so they started liking them again, and then you're like, why is this picture recirculating? What is happening? It's social media. This stuff
Yes.
never goes away.
Exactly. And, and that's the thing. That's the curse of social media. People live their lives good, bad, and different through social media, which is really crazy to me because if you're taking pictures of everything that happens in your life, you're not really living your life.
Yeah, you're spending your time being like the reporter, the recorder.
Of your own life.
Yeah.
And saying, look at my life, and what do you think? And so you're letting people who don't give a rat's ass about you personally tell you, dictate how your life should be. So, and you look at, again, stepping back, you look at somebody whose life is probably more fucked up than yours,
Yeah.
looking and say, well, at least my life ain't as bad as hers.
Or you're sitting there trying to figure out why you can't afford what they're doing. And never not at any moment even caring to like tie down your situation. You're just trying to figure out how to do what they're doing. Not
Yes.
worrying about your financial freedom, not worrying about your financial foundation, stability, or anything. You just want to know, how did, cousin such and such able to purchase this car? Because naturally they posted the new car on Facebook.
Oh, obviously. Got to.
Or, how were they able to get this house? Or how were they able to go on this vacation? You're never checking your own self. Saying, how can I get a little bit more money in my savings account?
That is the problem. This world is so. It's almost like we're watching the world operate as a TV show. It's almost like my life is so miserable, so bad that I have to look at other people's lives and just either be happy or sad or whatever based on what they're doing, rather than to look at myself or my life and saying, what am I doing? What's happening in my world? Because ultimately, that's all that matters is your world.
It is.
And how do you find happiness? First of all, you got to find happiness within yourself, which we've said many times, but people don't want to do that work.
I think that, that's it. To women, sometimes we don't like that phrase, right? Happiness is within. Because once I find my happiness within, then you come and rattle up my whole space. Talking about happiness is within, and you told me you was going to go half on this bill, and then the bill come around and you didn't go half on it. Now I'm mad, and you talking about, but happiness is from within. Bitch, I'll kill you. Happiness is within, but don't get it twisted. People can come in and kind of disturb your core. And that's not, I'm happy within myself, but I'll be damned if you didn't do something to me that disturbed me.
See, again, you looking at me as with a certain lens, and I'm looking at you a certain lens. And if you both were sitting there and looked at how we both look at each other, you'd be surprised how we look at women, and we were surprised how you look at us, because we were like, wait a minute, you putting all that on us? Like, you want to get married? You want to get settled down? You want to do that? Most guys aren't looking at that. Just real talk. There's some guys out there that do look at that based on who they are and where they are. But most guys ain't looking for that. Looking for a good time. Looking for,
Who are their influences?
Well,
Who's teaching them the ropes?
here's the bigger problem. The bigger issue is the lack of male role models is the problem we got with men being men today.
Okay.
And I blame I could blame a whole lot of people, but it really starts with the two people who had the kid in the first place, because that goes back to, if it does work out, somebody needs to raise it. The male has to be in a relationship or be in that kid's life to at least show that kid what it looks like to have both sides of it. Men are so take that term back. Boys are so easy for them to walk away, because to them, that's responsibility. I ain't asked for this, because since I'm not going to get them goodies no more, and we got this
Yeah.
situation, I don't want to even deal with the
What
kid.
is that about? Because you can't have access to the woman's body anymore. You don't owe her anything, but y'all have children.
There's a sense of property. Again, men, boys. 'Cause-
Yeah, let's make that
yes,
clear.
boys look at women as property. Boys look at if I can't get it and I can't do what I need to do or get what I normally get, then she should be able to take care of the kid. I give her a little money here and there, but
Here and there.
here and there,
But the rent always due.
doesn't matter.
And the grocery bill always ready.
Don't matter. I can't get
Kids
them goodies.
always hungry.
Can't get them. Can't get them goodies. So you're gonna find somebody else. Guarantee you're gonna find another dude. So let him be concerned with that. let him worry
That's
about.
the favorite
Yes.
phrase.
Let him do
Let
that.
him take care of the kids.
Yeah, he over there.
Huh?
He over there. Now, the boy don't understand that that's his child. That's part of him.
Right.
So if you deny him, you're denying yourself, which goes back to self-hate. Lack of self-love, self-hate, not really knowing what that connection is, thinking it's just, a kid, not realizing that's a part of you. That's an extension of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you deny the kid, you deny yourself.
Absolute.
Forget the woman. You denied yourself, whether it's a
Yeah.
girl or a boy. And they can't wrap their mind around it, because that means if they did wrap their mind around it, then they got to be responsible.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times it's easy to say, let somebody else take care of the child, as opposed to saying, hey, I no longer want to be a father to my own child. I'm going to allow another man to adopt my kid and raise my child. Nobody's ever going to say those words out
Nope.
loud, put actual labels on them. Yes, I'm going to be a dirtbag person. Father, yes, I would like another man to allow my children to call them dad. Like when you say, because those are the things you're actually saying.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to turn my back on my child who, me and him used to actually be cool. I actually used to like this kid. And now all of a sudden, because you don't have the mom anymore, because you didn't do right by her, now you like, I'm not playing with those kids no more.
Nope.
They still your children.
They are still your kids. And that is the problem the reason we got the issues we got right now. Boys refuse to grow up and be men. They want to play that, they want to use that term men when it's convenient.
Yeah.
I'm a man because I'm a man. Any real man don't go around and tell people I'm a man.
Yeah. I've
Because
never
real
heard any
men
of them say
do
it out
handle their
loud.
business. Real men just do it.
Yeah.
But when you hear boys talk about, I'm a man, I got a gang of kids and blah, 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 first of all, you're taking care of them. That's my first question. And when you hear people talk, I got 4 or 5 kids, are you taking care of them?
Because it's hard.
Very hard.
When you got more than 3, it's very hard. The fact that you have 3, I thought technically would be the max if they're active and have sports and
Yeah,
stuff. So what
exactly.
could you possibly be doing with 4 plus children?
They're looking at the boys look at the money aspect of it. All
Oh,
they look
because
at
you
is
send home the money.
Yeah, I sent that money, and that money should deal with this. That's such a small part of it. It's a good part of it, but a small part of it, because you also got to be there for that kid's emotional well-being.
You have to properly influence your children.
Yes. If you don't, society will, or that guy who's now raising will. You know who that guy is.
Or no one will properly influence your child, and he'll probably be a man-child. He'll stay a
Yes.
boy,
Yes.
which we see today.
We see it all the time. Next year, he driving the girl's car. She going to work, baby boy. He's not doing anything, and then when we get paid, I
Yeah,
ain't
and
got
then
no
you're
money.
mad because the woman is mad that you're driving around in her vehicle
In her car, you're not even on insurance.
while she's at work and you're picking up other women. But somehow when she says enough is enough, you mad.
Yep.
It's like, that's the audacity.
And that is the reason why we have to go back and make some changes on how we deal with raising kids as men. Real men know that we got to do what we need to do. And let me tell real men how real men think. When my son was, since he's been around, and there's times when I'll be in the living room and at nighttime he sleep, wife sleep, and I'm looking out the window like, am I doing enough? You know, I'm busting my butt. I'm working, 12-hour days and everything. Am I really, truly doing enough to take care of him? And let me tell you, my father-in-law, he passed. I miss that man, great man. And I asked him that question. He said, son, that's what men do. Men don't sit back and go to bed and think like, oh, I've done all I can do and go to bed and sleep very well. He said, you don't. Because as a man, you're always looking to make sure that you're taking care of your family at every turn, making sure that you're doing enough to take care of your family at every turn. So when I was like, so it's not unusual that I'm up at 2 or 3 in the morning. I go in there, see my wife in there sleep. She comfortably sleep. My son, he in there sleep. I go in there and kiss him on the head. Like, I'm just happy. I'm just hoping that I'm the role model for you. I'm hoping I'm doing enough to say, hey, you're going to learn how to be a man for me. And those are constant things that I always told myself growing up, with the family, with a young child, that am I doing enough? And I keep pushing myself. That's what men do. Men, you go out your way and make sure you're doing all you can to make sure that you take care of your family.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of guys that don't think that way.
I mean, that when you say they go to sleep real easy, I can understand why some men would drink. That's gonna put them to sleep. They're not sitting up thinking about that all night.
No.
They said, no, let me toss two back and get rid of those thoughts and go to sleep, because I'm going to have to wake up and do it all over again. I can understand. Okay.
And that's why a lot of them, they use things, because let me tell you, there's times that I would get up at 6, son got to be at school by 8:15. I'll be at work, and then I'll come down, pick him up from school. Then he got, if he got lacrosse or whatever, then we go get something to eat, and then he has homework and all that. But for me, I still got work to do, so I'm spending my time, quality time and everything with him. Then I got to work, because I got to make up for the time during the day I didn't work.
Absolutely.
So I got to do that. That was a given. And I mean, for you, this time he would wake up and be like looking for me, like, Dad, you still working? Yeah. Going back to sleep, son. This ain't your concern. You going to school, you being good.
You did your job. You did your task. Yeah.
My job is staying here, making sure I handle my business, to make sure I take care of the family. So the family doesn't want for anything. So that's not being taught. Or, because again, if you have guys who are brought up by their mothers, the mother's just trying to keep.
That influence is just not present.
It's not present, because that boy is at somebody else's house with another potential victim, and I'm gonna say that because he gonna end up having a baby by that poor woman, and now he gonna have a gang of kids around with different women talking about I got these kids, I take care of my responsibility, and which is a lie, an absolute lie. There's no way in hell that you can take care of 5 kids on your little $7.25 an hour salary and be there emotionally for these kids and different houses. So that goes back to the responsibility. So these boys aren't responsible. They just grow up to be man children.
Right.
And you're wondering why, like, damn. Let me say this. I am glad I don't have a daughter. Because if I had a daughter and I see these bums that are out here now, that are being raised, I want to choke his ass out. I'd be like my boy on Bad Boy 2. When he comes pick her up, I have a gun. Like, boy, you look 30. You ain't coming here and pick up. You ain't picking up a goddamn thing. You gonna take your goofy ass. You gonna go on. Because where you work at? What your father do? Oh, I ain't got no daddy. You ain't got no daddy. What are you talking about? You ain't got no daddy.
You can't hold that against them.
So now I'm trying to find where your head is.
So basically, you're saying a child inside of a single parent household, specifically the woman, the boy will grow up and will be groomed and programmed to think that it is normal for the woman to dominate the household and to maintain the household with exclusivity. as if that's normal lifestyle, life being. So as he comes into adulthood, he's okay with looking for and finding the woman who's actually going to take care of him because that's what he was accustomed to growing up. Yeah.
And that is the reason we have such a dysfunctional relationships in this world today because of that fact. Because that's not normal. And if you hang around a bunch of people who grew up the same way, you think it's normal until you see someone who looks at you and says that's abnormal as hell.
Yeah.
Because you see. Prime
Uh,
example, I'm
do
using my son.
almost the what that which is not normal is becoming normal today though.
Which is scary. Mm-hmm. Which tells us how removed we are from a functioning family. Because if a guy thinks that, or a boy thinks that, oh well, all I gotta do is just show up and be me, and lay the pipe every now and then, and she'll keep these nice little clothes on, and my nice little Jordans on here, and that's all I need to do because my mama took care of everything. Well, your mama was compensating for the man not being there, because for her, she's saying, okay, he sold me a bill of goods, which was bullshit.
Right.
So now I can't allow this kid who already sees his daddy ain't there. So I'm gonna have to do everything and make sure I cover both stuff the best she can. She can't teach him how to be a man, but she's saying at least I don't want him to want for stuff. So now this poor kid is raised up thinking, oh, that's normal. It's not normal. And then your father, you got a father, but he ain't never there. He ain't around, whatever. So now you compensate. You think, well, that's the way it should be. And that is us as a society that fails these kids. And then you wonder why they can't grow up, why they're not being real men.
So is that the woman's fault?
No, that's a man's fault.
Okay.
Because men take responsibility. Boys just allow things to happen. They'll sit around like, you know what, if I ain't got enough money to buy Doritos a day, she mad at me now. So maybe, when she come back, I can rub her back and make sure she give me something.
like go a little further, like the woman who real life leaves the house, ends the marriage, ends the relationship, say I'm done. Like this is too much, enough is enough. We split up the household. And now you do have this dominant woman in the household. And a lot of people, the whole Kevin Samuels, the women are always filing for divorce in our culture. Those are the ones who are breaking up the households, basically. Those are the ones with the child support orders. Is it our fault? Do we not stay in the relationships long enough? One guy came in and he was speaking about how the women of past generations would, quote unquote, stick by their man's side through everything. And we give up easy and early. Easy and early.
Different era. Different era. Because back then, if you go back, let's go back 60 years, society was different. The family unit was important because you had one breadwinner, the wife stayed home, took care of the kids. So everyone had their distinct.
The roles were more defined.
Exactly.
The roles are now getting into a gray area because of the
blurred.
economy.
It's all blurred because, again, I don't know how the hell we went from 60 years ago, you can have one person working full time and take care of everything, to two people who have multiple jobs and still can't keep things moving. Because
that's
that
where
means
we at today.
That's
yeah.
where we are.
Every
today.
household has two people working in it.
And barely getting by. And you're wondering, like, oh, well, that ain't going to affect anything. Of course it affects everything, because if you don't have everybody in the house teaching these kids, how do kids learn? When the parents come home, you're going to see them early in the morning when you get them up for school.
Absolutely.
And then they're going to work, and then you're going to see the parents at nighttime when they get home from work, and those parents are tired as hell.
Yeah.
Been working hard all day.
Yeah, all week.
All week. You got homework, you got this,
You got
that.
5 days on, 2 days off, and then on your 2 days off, you tending to kids and buying groceries and doing laundry and tending to the household. And, that's a lifestyle without sports and after school activities, so to speak. So if you even begin to factor in, one kid having an activity that they're committed to, those 2 days and those little, hours from 6 to 10 p.m. that you thought you had, even that's shut down.
Gone.
So you have two totally depleted people, even if they're, still residing in the same household, they're still depleted and they still can't, pour as much as, the generations prior to would have been able to pour into the children and into the household.
And that's the problem. So now women have choices now. Before, you're right, you're going to stick with them. He may beat you. Because the other thing they don't talk about is the abuse that happened back then.
Yeah, they love to leave all of that part out and just pretend like, the women were just kind of coming through the generations and girl powering it up and, just rising to we wanted to go to work. Y'all wanted to be the bosses. Niche, ain't nobody not ever wanted to go to work. I never met a person who even been in the workforce for a year and said, no, I'm trying to go back to that. No woman I ever met said she wanted to work.
No.
Ever.
No, because it's necessity now.
It's a necessity,
you have
yeah.
to work. Or if you want to, not even to say you want the greater things, just
If you want to live.
you want to live.
Yeah.
Electric, gas, cable. And these are all necessaries now.
Absolutely.
It's not like
it's like you go, let's say you take a traditional route and you go, from your parents' house and you go to college, right? You go from college, you get your first job, you get an apartment. Naturally you're paying all your bills yourself. Well, you get with a man, he's paying bills, you're paying bills. Why would you stop paying bills now? We'll get together, move in together, live our happily ever after lifestyle, but there's never an idea or a moment where the man is like, I'll just take care of the bills. Technically, he's accustomed to seeing the woman bring that money into the household to take care of the household. So why would we be deviating now? It's almost like men kind of feel like it's not fair if she's not working in this generation. It's very specific to this generation.
It is.
To where the men want to see us. They pretend like they don't want to see us in the workplace, but they definitely don't want to see their women at home in the traditional at-home roles.
I think that sentence, in my opinion, is disingenuous. And I'm gonna tell you why. Traditionality always sounds good when we talk about men. Every time both of you, through this last 38 minutes have talked, have said traditionally men. Let's flip that. Traditionally women were at home. Traditionally women cooked. Traditionally women held the household down. Traditionally women made sure that the kids got taught, that the kids went to class, made sure the kids also had things to do outside of the house. Made sure the kids in the house had responsibilities. Made sure that the kids went and hung out with people and learned socialized and shit like that, because the man held the household down, right? So if we're gonna say that we want men to be traditional men, let's keep that. That comes with everything. That comes with, yes, being protectors, yes, being providers, yes, holding the house down. But that also came with a level of stress that caused men to beat on their wives, become alcoholics, get hooked on drugs, because there was no way to escape that pressure of that's what the level you need to hang at. But if we sit here and say the exact same thing, okay, I'll be the traditional man. I'll make sure this house is taken care of. I'll make sure all the bills are paid. You don't have to worry about a thing. You go take care of. Bills gone, here's the credit card, go take care of it. If I do all of that and I tell you need to come home, cook, clean, and make sure that everything is straight, guarantee you a woman's gonna be pissed off. Because we can do more than that. We can be better than that.
Okay, so what our producer basically is referencing is our references to the traditional man and how he is or is not in his role, right? And what about the role of the traditional woman? To me, the woman still plays her role. That's just me personally. The woman still cooks. The woman still cleans. The woman still maintains the groceries in the household. The woman still maintains the academics of the child. The woman is still responsible for signing up, seeking out, and creating a schedule for the sports. The woman still maintains all of those things in the house, down to paying the bills, balancing the checkbook. She still does those things in this non-traditional role. Those things still need to be done. That's why she's tired and depleted and screaming for help. Because the man goes out, he does work. but so does she. And they both put 40 hours in. I don't know who brings home how much money they bring in, but they both put in 40 hours minimum to their workplace. Generally, the difference is that the woman still needs to make sure that the kids have food after school. The woman needs to make sure that the kids have clean clothes that are ironed and ready to go in the morning. The woman has to make sure that, and even if you're outsourcing any of those services, she's the one who finds means to outsource it. So that's what I see inside of the households that I'm accustomed to. That the woman plays the non-traditional side of going into the workplace and still dabbles in the very traditional role of a woman, as far as grooming the children, tending to the household, and still having to spend time tending to her man. I've not actually seen a household where the man is responsible for cooking, 3 days a week, and the woman cooks 4 days a week. The woman goes to the grocery store, the first and third week of the month, and the man goes the second. I've not seen these household responsibilities being broken down. And perhaps that's just the households, again, that I'm accustomed to, but I don't see men doing laundry. I don't know those men. I don't know the men who wash dishes. I don't know those men. I just don't know the men who are vacuuming and scrubbing the toilets. I ain't never seen them.
I do that.
No, maybe that's why that perspective came through.
Yes.
Because that's just not been, I can't even say I've lived that lifestyle. Like, I go to work, I'm coming in the house, and I'm going to cook at the end of my work day, and I'm going to also clean up at the end of my work day, and my work day can be quite extensive, and it doesn't matter if my spouse is out, at the soccer field with the kids until 10 o'clock at night. I know I still had to come in the house, make sure dinner's together, make sure there's food in the house for lunch in the morning. Still a very traditional sense, but even though I went out into the workplace and spent minimum of the 40 hours for the week in the workplace.
Yeah, and see, I think a lot of women today probably don't think that way. I think it just happens, because if you're a single mom, you're going to do it all anyway, because it's on you. And I think that's why I go back to men have to kind of look and see. First of all, if you got kids, you should know off the bat, you have to take care of your kids. You have to take care of your responsibility. So there's no her house. It's your kid. So you got to do what you got to do. If you got to go and pick the kid up, get your ass over and pick the kid up from practice and bring him to her house. If she has been doing a weekday and you have on weekends and she's stuck at work, take the kid, go get some, go to wherever, pick him up, give him something to eat, take him home.
You talking about when they're in two different households?
Two different households. So there has to be a working relationship between the two parents to make sure that you're covering for this baby. Not that, she should be able to do it. She should be all right. I mean, why I got to go and pick him up? I'm on the other side of town. Doesn't matter, it's your kid. Would you want to leave your kid out there on a soccer field at 7 o'clock at night? And she should pick him up. He'd be all right. No.
I mean, so it gets weird when the households get split. The things that you were willing to do for your kids when you were in the household may not necessarily be the things you're willing to do for your kids when.
And
when
the question is, why is that? And again, that's the question.
I recall advising people, when they split, when they come to me speaking about how the ex-husband is acting. I recall telling a few people, this what that man would have did if he was still in the house, though. Sometimes we do things that we don't like, and because we're in separate homes, we react and give something different. And then sometimes we just kind of go all the way off the cuff. And I don't know, but they're still your children. They still need providing and taking care of, more than just a child support check.
That's the minimum. The check is the minimum. Of course, baby has to eat all that. We got that. You have to be there emotionally for this kid. You got to be there, because if you're not there, somebody will be there, and that person who's there for that kid may not be the person you want that particular person be for that kid.
You and your feelings. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're all in your feelings.
Some men feel like that other man that replaced him can take care of the kids. That's why they're doing the lease.
So those are the boys. Yeah. Because if you're a boy, I'm saying this.
Oh, you wanted this. You wanted another man to take care of these kids.
This is what boys do.
He got you now.
See, and again,
That goes back to what they just let stuff happen.
yes,
Boys gonna let
boys
stuff
gonna
happen.
let it happen because that's all for me.
Yeah.
I got less on me, so I can go. That's more time to play around. That's more time to do other stuff. That's
That's
more time to.
ultimately sometimes it does just kind of feel like you just throw your hands up in the air because it's more time to play.
Yep.
Like, damn, how much time you need to play in the field? I don't get it. How much time you want to play?
And then we don't have time. We can't let our children go without because you want to play games.
Yeah, no, they not missing soccer practice because I wanted to go out on a date on Wednesday. I love a good Wednesday little outing. But the
Exactly.
kids had a little violin recital.
Yes.
No, you had to show up and,
And be there.
and
And
look like something too. That's the other part.
yeah, you can't just have your kid out there just ass out with no cleats or nothing. You're like, oh,
Or that
Yeah.
the cleats getting too small and you like, nah, I'm getting them next week. Now you need them today.
today. And that's the
Yeah.
other thing. It's like all of that is part of raising this kid. There's times when money will come out from nowhere. You're gonna need money for books. You're gonna need money for cleats. You're gonna need money for trips. You're gonna need money. So you can't say, "Well, let me catch me 2 weeks from now when I
Yeah.
get my
Or
check."
tomorrow.
Or
My
tomorrow.
favorites are good tomorrow. I mean, I got to run to the bank. You, 2022?
You been hit me with that cash app. You hit me with that Zelle.
There's too many avenues out here.
Exactly. So again, it's just about ownership, owning, and accountability is missing so much in this world because everybody wants to pass the buck. I think the biggest thing is nobody really just want to push it off rather than say.
I
you know
think
what,
that's
own
a
it.
good that's a good way to put it. Everybody wants to kind of pass the buck. Nobody wants to say, you know what, the buck stops. It stops here because at some point we have to correct the action,
Yes.
right? And I just hate to put it on the men, but like if you're supposed to be the head, the dominant, the lead, wouldn't we have to start with you all? We're going to follow. We're going to follow. We're going to help. We're going to sit in our role. I just don't know that we ever came out of our role. We're in protection mode. We're in warrior mode, perhaps. But I think we still know our position. Now, can all of the women cook nowadays? I don't know. I don't, because I'm hearing, do a little birdie out here that the women out here, they just can't do what they're supposed to do in the kitchens nowadays.
Oh yeah, I don't know where the hell that fell off, but yeah, they can't.
They can
used to
still
be.
clean though, at least. I think they can still clean.
Some are pretty much, they spend most of their time in the damn, salons, and you see them. They come to
No,
salons,
don't put them off on my clientele. No, sir. Not my ladies. No, sirree. You will not. No, my ladies do the cooking and the cleaning. Yes.
See,
My divas can cook.
okay,
Yeah.
so and that
Yeah.
to me is kind of the issues we have. This is getting worse. It's not
Mm-hmm.
getting better. Because it's going to sound bad. A lot of men are going from head of household to dependents on taxes. If you're looking at tax form, they're no longer
Wow.
head of household. They're dependents. And that's where it shouldn't be. But also, everybody needs to be in the group and helping each other do what we do. Prime example, when I said that I'll clean the toilet, dump the trash, do all that stuff, I do it because it has to be done. I don't sit here and say, you know what? These dishes need to be washed. Fuck that. I ain't doing this shit. Wait till my wife get home and clean this shit. Now, I've been there all day long, and I walk by the dish many times, adding more dishes, because that ain't my job. No, you do what you gotta do to keep harmony, to keep synergy. Because when she come home from work,
She
you
tired.
don't want to look at a whole bunch of dishes that you walk by 35 times during the day at least, but you just kept adding on to it.
Yeah, you did, because you was hungry all damn
All
day.
goddamn day.
It started off with 7 dishes inside that sink, and you done added 7 more. Now it's full. I come in the house, and you looking at me like, babe, what's for dinner? Not a damn thing, because the kitchen is dirty. Okay, how about that? How about that?
Like, what the hell? So, again, it has to be a give and take thing, but that means a lot of guys have to stop looking at that shit backwards. Like, I ain't gonna watch because men don't watch this, men don't do this. Motherfuckers, if you live by yourself, you had to wash your clothes, you had to wash your dishes, clean your toilet,
I'm
vacuum
gonna
your
stop
damn
saying
house.
yes, because if we live by ourselves, we have to pay our bills, and I don't want to say yes to that.
Yes. You have to do all that shit. So let me tell you, hey, I'm gonna tell
That's
you.
why we was trying to take all that up off y'all hands, but y'all was like, yeah, but you still gotta go to work. You're like, huh?
Yeah. Hey, and again, if you're living separately, you have to do all that for
Yes,
yourself. Now, if
yes.
you come together, what you need to do, you have to have a conversation. For some reason, people don't have that conversation. Like, you have your own spot, I have my own spot, and then we decide, let's move in together.
Yeah.
That point, you have to have a conversation like, listen, this is how I run my house. This is what I do. And you
Defining roles and responsibilities
got
of
to.
the household.
Don't figure that
Yes.
shit out when you get. Well, damn! I didn't realize you hang your bra over top of the damn shower pole. I didn't realize you hang that.
That's my good underwire. I can't mess that up.
I
Let
feel
that
all the
drip
time.
dry.
Like, what you talking about drip
Yeah.
dry? What the heck?
Yeah.
So these are conversations you got to have beforehand, like cooking. Can you cook?
Yes.
If you do cook, what do you cook? Everything you cook, does it come from a store and you put it in a microwave, or do you sit there and you mix ingredients and really make stuff? That's the difference. I can
No,
cook
that's
meatloaf.
not because you can't say you cook if you use the microwave. What
No.
type of
No.
nonsense is that?
No, if you have to use a microwave other than warming up food, you
Yeah.
have to use it to cook.
Yeah. We don't know what you're making in there.
I don't know what you're making.
It's a
I
reheater.
don't have a
That's
clue.
not the. It's a reheater.
Exactly.
That's sadness.
But these are
They have
conversations.
whole cookbooks in thrift stores.
You have to.
On you see where all those cookbooks went on how to microwave meals? They put them in the thrift stores. They're
That's
not in
true.
anybody's homes.
Nope.
It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
No, and most of the time, you can pick up your phone and look and find a recipe.
Oh yeah.
So that
If you're not cooking in today's day and age, I just always assumed it's because you didn't want to cook. You
And-
just don't want to because YouTube will walk you through any recipe you want to make.
everything you could think of, YouTube, you can find on YouTube.
Yeah, it'll walk you all the way through. So if you can't cook, you don't want to cook. That's what I normally you can't season up. No, first of all, what is that? Lowry's? I haven't used
Lowry's,
it in years.
yeah, that
season all. Some is put it in the oven, sprinkle it on. I mean, start somewhere.
And
Start somewhere.
If you got high blood pressure and diabetes and all that stuff, use some Mrs. Dash.
No, you should use Mrs. Dash all the time. That's more flavor. If you don't feel like
That's
cutting
true.
up these onions and
That
all
is
these
true.
other aromatics, yeah. You have to use, but you have to start somewhere. The idea that
Somewhere.
you can't cook, that's just lazy.
Which means you had to learn that or not learn it from someone. That means that, go back
That's a horrible
that
influence.
goes back to your mama. That means she lived in McDonald's.
So
That
your
means she
mother
drove
can't
by-
cook.
Your mama can't
so
cook.
generationally,
Think about it.
we're not cooking.
No. Okay. If you're a
Wow.
mama who works hard every day and you say, I got to feed these kids, and you're like, I'm tired. So I'm going to stop at McDonald's. Because growing up,
No,
we never stopped at
don't-
McDonald's
yeah, we
every
don't-
once in a while.
We would get beat if we didn't cook. First of all, the kids used to work the house. That's the other weird part.
Yep.
So I'm the youngest, so maybe once upon a time my dad washed the dishes when it was just maybe him, my mom, and the oldest sister, right? Mm-hmm. Perhaps. Mm-hmm. I know because my mom didn't work till I was 12 anyway. Yeah. So
Your dad never washed dishes?
I can't say that he has. I've
wow.
never seen this.
Okay.
I just it would be a bizarre concept to see my father first of all having a need to wash dishes. There's 3 children in the household, and then he's always raising somebody else's kid, right?
Yeah.
There's always a cousin coming to live with us because he's just that type of guy. You're like, yeah, no, send your kid here, we'll take care of him type of person. So it's at least 3 or 4 children in that household.
Oh, yeah.
And between the kids, y'all gonna cook, y'all gonna clean, y'all gonna do y'all gonna do everything in there. Y'all not gonna stress your mother out neither. Yeah, and
Hey.
my mother, if I was 12, that means my oldest sister was 19.
Okay.
So that's when my mom went to work.
Okay.
So we were pretty.
Take that meat out.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. So no, my mom wasn't stopping at no McDonald's, and you were responsible for cooking a good meal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as young as real young, 12, 10, I don't know.
Yeah, see, and that's
Remember
the
that?
difference. I remember food always being cooked.
Yeah.
Growing up, food was always cooked. I mean, it was always, the oven was always, The oven was not just a place you put bags in. You know, nowadays you open up somebody's oven, they got grocery bags in there. They got recyclable bags.
So
in
it's
there.
a storage center?
Yeah, that means
The
it's used so little that they got between that and the damn dishwasher. They got all kinds of bags in there.
In the dishwasher?
In the dishwasher, open up bags and fall and hit you in your foot.
Those must be, are they in there or on the side?
They're in there. You open it up, the bag fall out on your foot. You're like, oh shoot. So yeah, it's just storage. It's just storage. You know. So again, they ain't nobody teaching these women, these young women, old young men how to cook. So they just learning from go to churches and Wendy's and all that
y'all
other
stay
stuff.
up out of the Chipotle. Stay up out of Wendy's. Get back to the kitchen, everybody, please, because this is sadness. This is just I just assumed everybody can cook. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's just what I assumed.
Shoot. No. No. If you ask a young lady to boil water, she was like, what does that do? First of all, find a pot.
How old
water-
is she?
Oh, probably like 20, 21. Probably can't cook worth a damn.
Now, to see, we just got finished getting beat, okay, for not cooking on time. You ain't take that meat out. Like, yes, we used to get in trouble for not taking the meat out of the freezer in the morning before you go to school.
Yep.
Right, mine is 6:00 in the morning.
Yes.
You better take that meat out. You already left out of the house. You could have been took the meat out, but
that's your
you
job.
made sure I had a job in this house, and that job was to take that meat out.
Yes. But
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen overall anymore. I mean, it's a different world now. I bet you can go back and ask a lot of 20-some-year-old women who taught them to cook. They probably say, I don't know how to cook. Or
Wow.
maybe they went to their grandmother's house who cooked. Maybe their mama cooked. Maybe now and then. Maybe Sundays she cooked. Maybe some days she cooked. But you have to look at it. You're looking at the women who now have to work 40+ hours.
But
who are
you
now-
still got to teach them certain things. It's like hygiene. These are survival. These are
Yeah.
survival things.
Yes.
Like, you
Yes.
don't know how to cook. It's a bizarre concept to me.
It's a lot. It's,
And okay, I'm a chef.
No, but you're right. But-
I just want y'all all to know I'm borderline a chef. Like, so just so we can get that off, everybody knows.
Yeah, it's just certain things, conversations, certain things you need to have with your kids that it just don't happen. It should happen, but it just don't happen. I mean, let's go back to the world of, talk about sex. We never, growing up, was one of those things that nobody really talked about. All you kept hearing, like, don't get nobody pregnant.
I
And
mean,
you're
how
like,
much of this, like, this is making me itch right now. Like, how much conversation of sex are we supposed to have with the children?
well, to be honest, you shouldn't have. It should be on levels. Like when you're little, there's that no touch.
Okay,
don't touch here, don't touch there.
Private areas.
Private areas.
Respecting boundaries. Okay.
Then as you grow, and then of course for women, for your little girls, to get to that point where they have to have that discussion about the monthly
Coming the
things.
age of the menstrual cycle and stuff like, okay.
Exactly. And for boys, you got to wash yourself, make sure you keep it clean down there so you don't end up with any infections and stuff like that. And then when you start to get that feeling, you say, okay, you're going to have that feeling, so we're going to have that discussion with you on what to do with that feeling. And
My mother loved books. She loved to buy anatomy books.
Oh,
and
Lord.
just kind of, just books about any, And yeah. Read.
Yeah, read this. Have a conversation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable for them to have that conversation. And for me, I'm like, you don't tell me, I'm gonna go to the library. So I go in the library.
Yeah,
books
grab
like-
a book. Most of the things are in the book. Yeah.
But that means you have to take
Or
that
auntie or aunt. Yeah. or-
somebody.
hopefully it wasn't a cousin.
I will hope. Oh my God! But these are the little things you don't think about. But then you start to say because kids, nowadays they're smarter than when we was growing up because you have the internet, so you can find different things you want
Yes.
for. Back then, people had conversations you knew they didn't know nothing about it. Knew. Oh my God! He touched my hand. I'm gonna get pregnant tomorrow. What? What? He touched her hand. He touched my hand in a lovely way, and he rubbed my hand like that. And all of a
I was
sudden,
the kid on the
Lord.
playground telling people, nah, that can't happen. Nah, this is why. Yeah. I had
Yes.
a problem. Yeah. Because
Like-
I had all the books. Yeah.
Then you gotta explain
Yeah.
to him. But then you don't want to bust him out in front of everybody. So you just kind of say, "Listen, what you said was dumb and wrong."
No, I was a know-it-all. I'm gonna bust it out in front of you. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So you saw she rolled her eyes. Yeah. No, you cannot get pregnant like. Yeah. No, I was probably a know-it-all.
Oh Lord, so these are things that and again, a mama having that kind of discussion with her son is to me be uncomfortable. Because again, it's
Yeah.
like, you shouldn't be. Well, he see this girl.
I
He
don't
like
want,
this
because technically you're like, he ain't supposed to be having sex. No way.
No, but
Yeah.
but for boys, one day you want to hit them. You want to hit the girl. that one, fifth grade, you want to hit them and slap them a little bit, and you want to push them in the dirt. Then sixth grade come, you don't want to hear this, but you don't want to hear it no more. For some
You just
reason,
wanna
like,
touch her.
I just want to touch her. I don't know why I want to touch you, but I want to touch you.
Yeah.
But like, why I want to touch you? Then now you go to your father and say, "Hey, Dad, listen, so Sue, and Sue. You mean Sue from last year who you punched? Yeah. I don't want to punch her this year.
Yeah.
I want to touch her. Okay, first of all, son, you can touch Sue because today you could be in jail, put out of school for
No,
touching
you
Sue.
can. You can.
Back then,
You can.
you go over and slap her butt or whatever. You may get in trouble. She may hit you. Or,
Yeah, they just call your mother. Let them know. Nowadays, they calling the police on you.
Oh, you going to the popo?
Hey, what?
They locking you up, clean.
I'd act up.
See.
I'm that type of mom. I wish you would.
wish
Yeah,
what?
first
You
of all,
touch-
she probably threw her booty in his direction.
And see, that's the other thing. The other thing is when you have a daughter who's a little more probably developed, because back then when they were 12, they looked 12. They looked like they had nothing. They were kids. They were 12. Now
Not
12,
necessarily.
12 was like
I told y'all was a problem.
see 12 now you're like damn girl, you on the pole? You gonna go to that strip club?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
gotta whoa, you gotta really have that discussion and like make sure she's dressed a certain way. She's covered up. She don't act a certain
Understand
way.
what the look is going to receive.
Yes.
That's the conversations that's
You
happening.
have to have that
at that age.
conversation.
Yeah.
You can't walk around and look like Nicki Minaj. You can't go around and put stuff
No,
on.
you can. You can, but just to understand what that's going to get from you, what it's going to get. Yeah.
Yep.
You can do whatever you want to do in this life. First, it just can't be my kid doing it. That's
no.
Having that conversation that actually is comfortable. At the end of the day,
Yes.
you can dress however you want. You can look stinky if that's what you so desire.
Or it's provocative. You have to understand that the way that you dress can be provocative. It can provoke certain things from a man. And if you're a child and you don't know how to handle that attention, or you don't even know that attention is potential to come your way, and that you're a child and this is going to be adult attention that's going to be coming in your direction, nah, you're going to have to talk to her. You're going to have the proper conversations. Yeah.
You're going to have to. Because, again, if you don't, and you have to ask yourself this question. Why is she dressing that way? Is she dressed that way because she sees someone dressed that way? Or is she dressed that way because she wants to get some sort of attention? I mean,
Now,
that's a
we
conversation.
had it, and it was very innocent, but one of the girls here, her daughter wanted to wear, she described them as booty shorts and crop tops. I said, well, maybe it's just, she just needs some high-waisted shorts and crop tops because those are trending, right? Like, you can kind of play with the clothes and dress them any type of way. A crop top can be worn with a tank top underneath. It's grooming and directing them in the right direction. So why do you want to wear that? Okay, let me I'll kind of entertain you a little bit on that. You know, you want to wear a cute dress. Let me try to find you something that's going to actually flatter you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because sometimes it's about something that's being like flattery towards your age group. My niece
Yes.
is, how old is she now? 14. And she wants to wear clothes that, like, she has a very nice shape. But sometimes when a child is wearing clothes that are like super provocative, it looks bad.
Yes.
You know, it looks like you doing too much. And to you, you know, you cute because this is just kind of what you just started. But everybody else in the room is judging you. So sometimes it's like I got to pull baby girl to the side just to kind of have that conversation like, yeah, but I know you kind of want to show off those legs, but find a dress that kind of show off your legs that looks like it's something for a teenager,
Yes.
as opposed to something that's for like a 30-year-old,
Yes.
woman that's got like all types of hips and yeah, all those assets.
You have to, because
Yeah.
again, if you don't have that conversation with them,
Mm-hmm.
then that could lead to some other issues that she's not ready for.
I mean, if you're not influencing these children, somebody else, like you said before, is. So when you go out into the world, somebody sees her dressed in a certain, or a man, let's just be upfront.
Yes.
A man sees her dressed in a certain type of way, he gonna start whispering in her ear, influencing her, making her feel good. So now she starts to believe that, the way I'm dressing here gets me a certain type of attention. And if you don't know no better, you could believe that attention from the older man is proper.
Exactly. So you're going back to, if you're not involved in this kid's development from the beginning, and this kid's just basically just wearing stuff just to wear things,
An empty vessel.
and somebody else is filling that vessel.
Yeah.
So it's important that, men stay involved in their kids' lives, that they
Absolutely.
stay connected to those
More
kids.
than monetarily.
No, you have to be there total. You have to be there, because by denying that child, you're denying that child the love and the support that kid deserves. He deserves, he or she deserves that respect, deserves you being in that life, deserves to show that love, that real love, not just,
And you as the parent deserves what that relationship reciprocates back.
yes.
Right? Like, it is something like incredible to have some of the relationships that you have with your children.
Yes.
You have an adult child.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
think about the relationship you had with him when he was 5.
Yes.
And then how awesome it is to kind of still have a dope relationship with, that in your
Yes.
head, it's like, that's still my 5-year-old, but now you guys can basically go out for beers together type of thing.
Exactly,
You
drinks
know?
and stuff
Yeah.
together, and had that real conversation.
Yep. Like, I remember my son was 3, and we would, I'd go pick him up from mom's house, and we'd probably have like another 40-minute drive to get home, and we would talk the whole way home. And he would talk my head off, and the kid is 16 now, and he wants to eat the last of my coffee ice cream. I don't play any games with my coffee ice cream
Oh,
type of
Lord.
thing. But he looked at me, he grabbed up 2 spoons, and he was like, "Ma, let's talk politics." We're still talking, right? Like, these relationships, they're dope.
They are.
And they feed you right back.
What you just said,
Mm-hmm.
it feeds you. It doesn't date you, because so many people want to be right, want to be parents, and I don't want to be my kid's friend. I just want to be their parent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, understand this: when you say that, when you start to do that, and you don't respect them as the little people that they are,
As people first.
and when they grow up, and now you're now at a stage in your life where you're like, I wish I had a relationship with my kid. Well, you kind of messed it up when you want to be just parent and not friend. Now you're looking for that relationship that you never fostered.
Yeah, because you understand that relationship is dynamic. It's constantly moving, right?
Evolving.
They don't need
Yep.
you to parent on them at 5
No.
the same way they do at 10.
Oh,
10 is not the same type of parenting as it is at 16.
nope.
So if you're not constantly, and it's not to say you're like the same type of friend as if you all were peers,
No.
but your children they should feel friendly with you, right?
Yes.
My kids are definitely not my friends, but do they feel like I am friendly to them and very approachable? Absolutely.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Because if you cut that relationship off when they get of age, then they're not going to tell you anything.
Yes.
Why would they? You were
Yes.
never there when they were little. So why all of a sudden now, well, what happened in school today? What happened in college? Nothing. I went to class. I ate.
And then you allow them to give you the nothing, and then you give them nothing, and then you okay with just not having no relationship.
And then then the regrets kick in, because now their lives will kick in, and you'll start to follow them through Facebook or IG.
Yep.
Because they don't talk to you.
Yep.
And when you do talk to them, or Dad, I'm busy.
Yep.
Catch me next week.
Yep.
And you're like, wow, I wish we were closer. Well, again, you didn't start when you were little. You didn't care about it when you were little. So you want to be in that whole that power dynamic, which it shifts. Because if you live long enough,
Yes.
they will take care of you.
And you want the shift to occur. That's the point of having the children, is so that as you age, you have someone who takes care of you and understands you and all your little quirks and all the nonsense and BS that you have to offer, because every person is hard to deal with. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
exactly.
And you want people dealing with you who already know you and accept you for who you are. Your
Yep.
children will always accept you for who you are, because over those years that you're grooming them and they're growing up, you have accepted them for exactly well, you should have been.
Yep.
You should, and fostering, so they can come into their own. So now as you're aging, they respect what you've done for them. So they'll definitely be able to reciprocate that.
Without question. Without question. Like I said, I told my son this. When I get old, I want some pudding. As long as I have some Jell-O pudding,
Yeah.
we're good.
I told my kids my coffee ice cream.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you got this.
They got me up 11 o'clock at night, going to the train station, picking up extra cousins so they can have their great big, extra loud slumber parties, fighting in the middle of the floor, watching football. I said, y'all know, now I better make sure when I'm old, y'all give me my coffee ice cream whenever I want it.
Anytime.
Yeah, I said it, a few months ago. I keep saying it so that they know.
There you
keep
go.
reminding them of your pudding. What flavor is it?
I go with chocolate and vanilla. As long as I have chocolate and vanilla, I'm good.
okay.
But if he ain't got neither,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna visit that Bama at all. He better not come to my house, or I better not come to his house. He better not. He better got that pudding. He better have it. So
When
so-
I go see my grandmother, I do check up on her freezer. Yeah. What kind of ice cream you got in here, Grandma? Yeah.
you got to, because
Yes.
sometimes you gotta maybe look and take that top off.
You
make
got
sure
to
there's
take the top off. That's for
You gotta
sure.
look and make sure there's no ice crystals in there.
That's
And
it.
if that's the
It's
case,
like, she need another
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna do it this way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get her another
That's
one.
it. That's
so,
right.
We're basically telling y'all fathers, be a part of your kids' life.
And mothers.
And mothers.
And mothers.
Be a part of their
Feed
kids' life.
properly into these children.
Yes.
Influence them properly.
Yes.
Right?
You have
because what we're seeing today are children who are not children anymore, who have been influenced poorly.
to. Very poorly.
The girls can't cook. I'm all devastated on camera. The girls can't. I had no clue. So y'all telling me everybody don't have adobo in their house? That's what you're trying to say? Y'all don't have a little medley of like seasoning in the refrigerator? Wow. I'm gonna have to get a cooking channel together.
Hey, you might have to. Because again, we bring some young people here and just say, hey, can you cook anything?
Wow. We gotta go out into the streets for that one.
You're gonna have
Let's
to.
just go out.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Survey
to.
the crowd, see who can and cannot cook.
You'd be surprised.
Man.
And some of these young ladies are about to go to college,
Mm-hmm.
where they're gonna have to do something, or they can eat ramen noodles for the next 4 years, and that's a terrible thought.
That's rough.
But again, this
That
is
mess up your insides.
totally, totally. But again, another important message for these people out here about the importance of being a good parent. Not a great parent. Just a good
Just
parent.
a good one. Yeah.
And goddamn, we ain't tell you to go out there and read books and all that stuff. You know what doing bad, and how you're doing bad as a parent. Nobody got to tell you that. It's pretty easy. You know if you're not doing right as a parent.
Or you're not doing enough.
Yes.
Yes.
So do better.
Do more.
Do better, do more. And with that, we're going to wrap up this episode of, On the Mic with the M.
And T.
We will holler at you guys later on. Hit that like and subscribe button. Be back again very soon. Peace.